So today we're going to look at how to create a Glow blog. To create a Glow blog is an awful lot easier in the new Glow than it was in the old Glow. We in fact don't actually have to go to this Glow RM Unify front end at all. If you go to blogs.glowscotland.org.uk/nl, it will bring you up this page where you can then just simply click the login to Glow button. I'm already logged into Glow, so this should then automatically sync you through. And you'll see now it says My Glow, and it's got at the top, create a blog. To create a brand new blog, we just click create a blog. When we click on that, it's going to give us a choice, and it's going to say, look, you already have access to all of these blogs. Are these the blogs you want to use, or do you want to create a new one? So you're going to find that I've got loads, and that's because obviously with all the e-portfolios, etc., there are tons. So it says, look, you've got another blog, or you want to add another blog, or do you want to use all these existing blogs? And you can see there's a fair number for me, but right down the very bottom it says, right, you're creating a blog within North Lanarkshire. If you think this is not correct, go to RM Unify, so make sure you're set for North Lanarkshire. And it says, right, what do you want to call your blog? Now, the blog name at the top, once you've set it, you can't change it. So my advice is to put Coltness HS at the start. And now on the old system we used to be able to use the dash, the minus and whatever else we wanted onto it, but we can't do that on the new system. The new system doesn't have any uppercase and it doesn't have any non-alpha numeric characters, so we can't put in dashes and dots and various other things. So I'm going to create this one as for my Minecraft test server I've got here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it Coltness HS Mine Test, and I can go down to the bottom here and I can say Mine Test. Okay, so and then if I click create blog, if there's a mistake and there's already a blog with that name, then you'll get an error, which is why we're putting the Coltness HS in front of it, is because all the other schools in North Lanarkshire are creating blogs as well. So if you're going to create a blog that's called, for example, Modern Languages, then that's already going to exist, so you'd have to call it Coltness HS Modeling, and then it would allow you to do it. So the blog's been created, so we can simply click visit your blog, and you'll see that we've now got various bits and pieces of information that's already been added into it. At this point, the only person that can see it is you. No one else can see it. So what I want to do is want to change it a little bit. So we click down the bottom here where it says Post Edit Administer, and that will then take us to the dashboard. And you'll see there's now a live help service and there's lots of information at the top. But this is now able to be posted, and we could, as simple as fill in here my first post. Hit publish, and now if I go back up to the top, I'm going to just open it in a new tab, you'll be able to see my first post. But that's fine, but we want other people to see it, so what we need to do is go back to the dashboard and we go down the bottom, and when we go down to the bottom we can turn on various things. The first thing I would do is turn on some plugins. So go into plugins, and I would turn on Anarchy, Lightbox, Resize at Upload, and WP Spam Free. Akismet is no longer working, and WordPress.com stats doesn't currently work. So if we just click activate and apply, and that's now those blogs turned on. So what we want to do now is to start to use it on the internet in general. So we go down right down to the bottom to settings, privacy, and inside settings, privacy, we can then set it. So at the moment it's privacy. It's set only to users of the blog. So if, for example, you want to do one that's just for the students or just for one or two pupils, we can leave it as private, but we can then add those users in. Here in the users tab you'll see who's listed, and we can then just go to add users, and we can just put in the pupils usernames or email addresses. Glow email addresses work best. If we go for Glow only, then that means that in order to access your page, the people have to be logged on to Glow to get it, which means that anybody in Scotland can get it as long as they've got a Glow username and password. Or what we can do is just set it to public. So if I set this to public and hit Save Changes, that now means that it's now live. So now what we're doing is everything we're posting is appearing live on the internet. So remember things like copyright, remember child protection, remember that everything you're doing basically tracks back to you. Okay, so you'll see it says here accessible by anyone. Students cannot moderate comments by default, by default, but staff can alter the setting. So now what I want to do is I want to do a couple of other things just for settings. So I go over to the side here, and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to go into, first of all, writing, and you'll see that in here we can set various other bits and pieces. If we go into reading, we can see how it's going to be displayed. So we're going to have a post appearing, full text, but the one we're most interested in is discussion. And this is up to you to change how it's set up. I prefer that administrators must approve comments. I'm quite happy for anyone to post a comment, but this is email whenever, and you'll see there post a comment. So at the moment no one can post without me doing, but we could also force them to be logged in and registered, in other words as Glow, in order to comment. Well, that wouldn't help because maybe parents might want to post. We're going to go with fill out name and email. Obviously they could fake the emails and they could fake the name, so if somebody posts something that you think that's a little bit outrageous, dodgy, whatever else, then you can't always blame that pupil because they could have just put in for a fake email address at that point. Okay. So allow people to post comments in your articles. We can always untick that if you don't want comments. If you just want it to be a one-directional type thing with you giving information to pupils, then untick it. And we can read through these, so quite happy with that. I would not show the avatars, so that's just me personally, because some avatars they can tweak, so don't show. Leave it set obviously at G. Avatar. What's an avatar? Well, basically an avatar is just simply a picture that's displayed when somebody posts. Now in cases like Gravatar, for example, what they do is they have a Gravatar account and it then checks to see if that email address is associated with it before displaying it. For things like Wavtar, Monster ID, these are generated ones. So what happens with these is anytime the same person posts more than once, it generates a little monster picture beside it or a little picture beside it. Make sure at the end of it you save changes. And that's that for just now.